What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Roster Bubble Series video. Please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you know when the live stream pops to your drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Also, share this out because, as I usually say, it is the dead time in the NFL offseason, and a lot of content creators struggle with getting the amount of views they usually do in the regular season. And a lot of those content creators try to be creative during the off-season rather than going to the clickbait headlines. And I happen to be one of those content creators. So appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys can share this out and do all the good stuff. We are at 473 as of this recording. So thank you guys for getting us to that level. We are about 27 away from 500, which is halfway to 1,000. I could thank Pete Simonetti for some of that, of course, because even though I was getting made fun of, and it was all in good fun, we gained some subscribers all along the way. So appreciate you guys, especially the new ones and the old ones, of course. Everybody I appreciate. So another roster bubble video. These types of videos, I take a player that's on the roster bubble, talk about the background, then their competition, and also go into how they could win or lose a roster spot. Today's candidate is Tomon Fox. Now, everybody loves this guy. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't get a lot of the hype around him other than the sack numbers. Maybe I don't appreciate his play enough. I guess we'll see it in training camp. I guess we'll see it during the preseason. But some strengths and weaknesses from Tomon Fox before we go into his stat line from UNC. Powerful tackler versus the run. Because of his instincts and his IQ, he plays better in pass coverage than expected, so some versatility there. Good change of direction skills. Weaknesses, he needs to work on shedding blocks consistently because a lot of his tackles are drag tackles rather than blowing up the target, and he does lack size for a defensive end, but however, he will be an outside linebacker in wing system. As far as his stat sheet goes at North Carolina, he played a total of 6 years there. So he was there, I should say, since 2016. He had 1 sack in 2 games, along with a tackle for a loss in 2016, his rookie year. I should say his freshman year. His second year, which was also his freshman year, 2017, 11 games, 4 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, 23 total tackles. Then you look at his sophomore year, 2018, total of 2.5 sacks, 8.5 tackles for a loss, and 27 tackles in 7 games. 2019, his junior year, in 22 games. I don't know if that's correct. Hopefully it is. 22 games, 7 sacks, 10 tackles, 56 tackles. 10 tackles for loss, 56 total tackles. 2020, COVID season, 11 games, 7 sacks, 10.5 tackles for loss, 36 tackles total. And then in his final year, which was this past year, in 13 games, 9 sacks, 10.5 tackles for loss, and 33 tackles. So that is his stat line. That is his background, of course. He is an older player, but he does have experience at the college level. Will that factor in at the NFL level, like a guy like Trenton Thompson? We'll see. I mean, it's gonna be interesting, is what I was supposed to say. It's gonna be interesting, seeing some of these inexperienced guys compete against these experienced guys, especially now at the NFL level. Something they're all new to, and they had some guys had a lot of experience in college, some guys didn't. But his competition looks like this: Cam Brown, Carter Coughlin, Nico Lalos, Jihad Ward, O'Shane Ximines, Quincy Roche, and Ellerson Smith. Cam Brown, he was a 6th-round pick out of Penn State in 2020. Can play inside and outside. Carter Coughlin can play inside and outside as well. Still working on that transition to the inside. Played like 6 games last year, not too much. Was a 7th-round pick out of Minnesota. Nico Lalos, undrafted free agent out of Dartmouth, 2020. Jihad Ward, veteran defensive end / defensive interior, Colts, Ravens, Jaguars, Raiders. I think that's all of his teams. O'Shane Ximines, 3rd-round pick in 2019. Hasn't really done well up to this point. Quincy Roche, 6th-round pick of the Steelers that the Giants claimed off waivers last year. And then Ellerson Smith, 4th-round pick out of Northern Iowa last year. How can he win? Show versatility, beat out the older cats in the room, and stay on the field. I consider Jihad Ward a lock right now, but at the same time, he may not be a lock. He may be a guy like Ifedi Odenigbo, who we think is going to make the roster, but he doesn't make the roster. With that being said, I think he really has to have a good camp. Not because he's Tomon Fox or, because I don't believe in him, but there are a lot of guys in front of him right now. I wouldn't consider Cam Brown in front of him. I wouldn't consider Carter Coughlin in front of him. I wouldn't consider Nico Lalos in front of him. I wouldn't consider even Oshane Ximines in front of him. So there are 4 guys that are behind him. With that being said, though, in front of him, Quincy Roche, Ellerson Smith, Kayvon Thibodeau, Jihad Ward, and Azeez Ojulari. That's 4 or 5 guys right there. So he's going to have to work his tail off, unless they do opt to keep 6 outside linebackers, which they may do. But maybe they keep Coughlin because he keeps, he plays the inside and outside. Maybe they keep Cam Brown because of that reason. So a lot of things could play out either into the hands of Tomon Fox or the hands of somebody else. But he's got to some way work into that upper echelon of the depth chart. He's got to show something. How he can lose one of the spots on the roster, has a quiet camp, has a quiet preseason, lacks the basic tackling coverage skills. We talked about in college, he doesn't really blow up his targets, but if he doesn't make the simple tackles, that doesn't look good for him coming out of college. Now, of course, he could land on the practice squad, but I think Tomon Fox wants to make an impression on the New York Giants enough that he gets a roster spot rather than a guy like Coughlin, rather than a guy like Nico Lalos or Ximines or Brown or whoever. But he can't have a quiet camp. He can't have a quiet preseason, and he has to just do the basics. Get a couple of sacks. I'm not expecting 5 sacks, but if he doesn't get 1, I'll be surprised. He does have the ability to pressure the quarterback, though. I think he was one of the leaders in college in pressures, so he knows how to obviously get after the quarterback, but, it also all has to come to fruition at the NFL level. It is what it is. So with that being said, prediction, I think he gets released, but I think he makes the practice squad. I don't think Ximines is making it. Already said that. I don't think Carter Coughlin's making it. I'll come out with a video later about Cam Brown. I don't think Lalos is making it, but I think you really have 5 trusted guys as outside linebackers right now. And I think it's going to stay that way. I think it's going to stay that way, and if somebody gets injured, boom, you could just pop them up onto the active roster, and you could even protect him. You could protect him and add him onto the roster before game day. So I think he'll still be a New York Giant. It's just he's going to be on the practice squad. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops through drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Peace out, guys. See you later, and stay cool.